I'm Kinda Syed. Currently a PhD researcher at University of Sussex, researching cognitive science. This is my second PhD. I have also completed a postdoc at Carleton University recently, following the completion of a PhD at UCL in urban science. My area of expertise is urban modeling and computing, modeling indoor environments, complex buildings, different building typologies, and using agent-based models to model indoor and outdoor environments, modeling natural movement. And I've also been doing research on quantitative social science recently. In my postdoc at Carleton University, I've built social networks of that model behavior, work patterns, and land use behavior in Ireland pre-COVID and post-COVID. I've also been doing a lot of work on cognitive science, mostly in the design cognition field. Using protocol analysis studies, and I've also used network science intensively, both in my research in indoor and outdoor environments modeling, and in my research in design cognition using linkography. Skills I've used were mostly kind of using GIS, CAD, and DepthMap, GMB for modeling urban environment, using CAD modeling and complex network for modeling buildings, and also for using VGA, visibility graph analysis for modeling spatial configurations in indoor and outdoor environments. I've also used agent-based models, a specific type that use rules based on cognition, in simulating pedestrian movement using DepthMapX. I've also been using, I've also been modeling social network data, such as Twitter data, survey data, thinking aloud data. I've used protocol analysis studies and semantic coding of thinking aloud protocols and linkography to model design cognition and metacognition, so capturing where metacognition happens during the design process. I've used graph theory intensively using DepthMapX, PyEC, JAS, Cityscape to model spatial configurations of building and urban environments, and also for modeling knowledge graphs to capture how designers use different design constraints and design criteria in decision making during design. Relevant work. I've started working at UCL in 2009, and I worked as a research associate from 2011 to 2013, modeling, working on two projects. One of them is Screens in the Wilds, which is kind of using spatial modeling to inform the positioning of touch screens in urban environments. And another project I've worked on is Proxies, which is modeling the relationship between accessibility and the London routes. I've modeled 5,000 prime data points, both offenders' addresses and offenses, and where incidents happen and how that relates to accessibility. I've also worked from 2010 to 2019. I've worked at UCL as a teaching fellow, teaching on spatial design, architecture in cities, and design as knowledge-based process. One of them is more focused on spatial analytics, and the other is more focused on the philosophy of science. During that time in 2014, I also was seconded to the UK Department of BIS, where I've worked there as a policy fellow. I've produced or contributed to the economic case of the digital Built Britain construction strategy, that's BIM level 3. And following that, I've started a second PhD at the University of Sussex in 2020, and I've started also a postdoc at Carleton University in 2022. I've completed the postdoc in July, and this was focused on ABA modeling, so agent-based modeling of COVID-19. I've modeled COVID-19 data in Ireland and in 3 cities in Ireland, and I've also modeled social networks and how the kind of the epidemic has kind of changed work patterns and socializing patterns in cities. In terms of achievements, I have, as I mentioned, completing the postdoc at Carleton. I have also served on several smart cities committees at the British Standard Institution. I've contributed to Case 5 in PASS 183. I've contributed to the Digital Built Britain policy. I have also published over 30 papers, and mostly focused on urban modeling and computing and design cognition. In terms of technical knowledge, I've used GIS, CAD, DepthMapX, GMB. I've also used CAD modeling, convex network visibility graph analysis. I have also used agent-based simulations. I've also used semantic coding, knowledge graph modeling, statistical modeling of link graphs, and been using PyEC, JAS, Cityscape, and I've also used programming, processing Java and Python in some of my research papers. In terms of areas of interest, I'm mostly interested now in design neurocognition. At the moment, I'm more kind of within the area of expertise of design cognition, but I'm trying to link to design neurocognition, so involving neuroscience in my research. I've also been obviously doing lots of modeling of health data in my postdoc, linking or kind of investigating the link between accessibility and how accessibility, spatial accessibility, enables the spread of infectious disease in Ireland. I've also been doing lots of work on spatial navigation, wayfinding, natural movement in indoor and outdoor environments. In the future, I would like to do further research on health data modeling and medical sciences, and advancing my knowledge in that field. In particular, I would like to be to do further research in neuroscience and design neurocognition. I would like to also develop my knowledge in medical imaging and perhaps kind of apply some of the models that I've used in spatial analytics, using clustering in modeling image data, medical image data, using a variety of kind of techniques such as EEG, fMRI, in modeling brain networks. Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. So my name is Wenjian Chung. You can just call me Wen. It makes things easier. I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Guelph, Department of Population Medicine. I previously did my PhD at the University of California, Irvine, and then before that, I did my undergrad right here. So my background is actually in physics. That's why I did my undergrad and master's in. But then I moved into computational science and infectious disease dynamics. So I mostly deal with mathematical modeling of infectious disease dynamics, both stochastic and deterministic. I also do some statistical analysis, mostly using R. And I also do computational methods like numerical optimization and a little bit of machine learning. That's not really my main focus, but I have some knowledge of that from my PhD. So what I have done, so for my PhD, I was basically looking at how compartmentalization affects HIV dynamics. So you kind of have to tie, like, you start from the biology of HIV, and you try and construct the model, the mathematical model, and then you do the numerical simulations. Then you hopefully tie it back to the biology and see if the model can help explain some unusual phenomena regarding HIV, which, like, here it's the fact that HIV takes a fairly long time to evolve an escape mechanism, much longer than you would expect given its high mutation rate. What I'm doing right now is SARS-CoV-2 wastewater modeling. So for now, it's mostly in corrections facility settings. So it's in these two corrections facilities with this data, Maplehurst and Vanier. So we're trying to tie it, see how well it ties into the wastewater data for the genetic markers. That mostly involves a lot of deterministic modeling and then statistical analysis. What I would like to do is continue with my work on mathematical modeling on infectious disease dynamics. I'm mostly interested in how the immune system interacts with pathogens. For like interhost dynamics, I'm reasonably content working with wastewater epidemiology. I'd like to continue working there because I think there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. I'm also interested in seeing how we can use mathematical modeling to help drive public health decisions. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for listening.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Nima Islami. I'm a PhD student of mathematics at the University of British Columbia, and I'm so glad to be here, and I appreciate this opportunity. Actually, I'm working on optimization problems, any modeling problem, including at least one maximization or minimization. And specifically, I work on nonlinear optimization when we have a nonlinear structure of constraints, and when we have multi-objective optimization, we have multiple objectives. Maybe some of them are non-smooth, and it's a bit hard to deal with these problems because objectives can be contradictory. And also I use robust optimization methodologies because these are really interesting. It happens when future is uncertain for us. We have lots of uncertainty and we want to find a robust solution which is working for any condition that can happen for the future of our problems. And basically all of these are related to mathematical modeling. Applications of my research is on generally machine learning and specifically manifold learning. And manifold learning is a technique of dimensionality reduction. And it happens when a data set is really large scale, and we are trying to find some relationships through this data set. And these relationships can be actually obtained from some geometrical structures, nonlinear structures, and so manifold learning actually is trying to make the problem simple. And the application of these improvements in manifold learning is in healthcare operations. By healthcare operations, problems related to service in healthcare problems, not actually, for example, in biomedical problems or problems related to biology. It's more related to operations of healthcare systems, for example, queuing systems, stochastic processes, or any, for example, emergency departments can have some healthcare operations policies. And I use basically Python and R for programming. I'm familiar with MATLAB, and I use nonlinear methods, robust optimization methods, and multiple criteria methods for solving the problems. Recently, I've been doing some data science work for simulation because we are working with data sets, and data sets are really large scales, and especially nonlinear regression analysis and generalized linear models. And I'm somehow interested and familiar with these topics, and also statistical sampling and design to collect and generate data. My first research was providing a trust region method for solving multiple criteria optimization problems on manifolds when the data set and constraint set is nonlinear. We provided a trust region method, and it's been published in Journal of Optimization Theory and Application. And our current work is to provide optimization frameworks under uncertainty when we have parameters of the problem in an uncertain version, and we are not sure about the exact value of them. They can be changed, and we are not sure about the term of stochasticness. The distribution is not clear for us. We just know that they are uncertain. They can be changed. And so basically, methods here are robust optimization methods. And my ideal future jobs actually are in data science and machine learning, but in healthcare operations. Actually, I'm interested in health. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, it's been, yeah. Sorry. So actually, this healthcare operation is interesting to me because I remember when my parents were infected with COVID-19, and I saw a lot of problems in the healthcare system. And that actually motivated me to use my knowledge to improve some problems here in healthcare operations. And I thank you for your attention. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Susan. I am a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Manitoba and Montreal. So I have a long journey from, in 2008, I finished my actually bachelor in solid state physics, and then I finished my master in 2012 in the high energy physics. In 2018, I graduated PhD, completely different area. So it was evolutionary graph theory, and we studied evolutionary dynamics and the complex systems. And then I got a job offer as a postdoctoral researcher at the Toronto Metropolitan University in 2000 for 2 years, and I worked on mathematical oncology. And then again, I started another postdoc position at York University in quantitative immunology. And then again, I changed my work, again as a postdoctoral researcher, University of Manitoba and Montreal. That's the present, and I'm working on quantitative immunology and also pharmacology. My research interest is in quantitative immunology, that we are actually applying mathematical modeling to study the immune response in oncology and infectious disease. And also, I am interested in, this is my recent actually interest, it is in quantitative pharmacology, that I am interested in quantitative pharmacology and developing PKPD models. and pharmacogenetics. And also, I am interested in AI for public health using the machine learning algorithm for the, just for public health. So during my PhD, my thesis was evolutionary dynamic on complex system like the tumor environment. So I worked on 2 different projects. So yeah, it was we studied the fixation properties of the mutant in a pool of the wild types in fluctuating environment, both the spatial and temporal environment. And we published 2 different projects. So then in Metropolitan University, we developed a mathematical model to study the side effect of the cancer, which is the cachexia, which is the muscle wasting, which is very deadly side effect in cancer, during 2 different projects. And in the second project, actually, we looked at the different stages of the chemo drug like 5-fluorouracil, and we developed a PK model in order to study the different dosage of the drug. And my actually, my second job at York University, it was during the pandemic. We published on different projects, and we developed the immuno model to study the actually immunity for the human after the adenovirus infection. And also, I developed the machine learning model in order to differentiate the influenza and the COVID-19 patients. And our third project was about the pharmaceutical and non-pharmaceutical intervention, like the mask, using the mask or social distancing in during the infection. My current project is now we have developed we looked at these lymphocyte mechanism after the COVID-19 infections. That is a submitted paper. And the second project is in final preparation, which is modeling the impact of human immunodiversity in COVID-19. And also third project is again we have developed a mathematical model in order to see the actual impairment in viral escape, like SARS-CoV-2 viral escape. And project 4 is again in the relation of the cachexia, but induced by cancer that we have looked at already, and also we would like to look at the immune system dysregulation during this muscle atrophy in cancer. These are my projects. I have skills in Julia, I really love it, and then Python, C++. I have all my PhD, I did the programming in C++, and I have little experience in MATLAB, mathematical LaTeX, and Perl. And I got a fellowship from UNC and the JSK company, and I'll be there very soon. And I have different collaboration with different groups. So currently, my supervisor is Professor Craig and the Craig Lab, and 3 other professors from University of Manitoba, Professor Porto Arino, and we have some other collaboration from University of Waterloo, my supervisor, and also from York University, Professor Fernan, and also NRC. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So first off, thank you very much to the organizers for putting on this wonderful event. It's been great meeting industry experts, but also meeting other people in the same boat, looking for the next opportunity. I've had a lot of exciting conversations. So, whoops, where are we? Back? Am I going? Oh, oops. First technical difficulty. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so my name is Chapin Krosek. I'm part of the team of people who did some schooling in physics and biophysics and then jumped over to applied mathematics. So I did my PhD in physics, specializing in biophysics at Simon Fraser University under the supervision of Dr. Nancy Ford, where we worked with designing and coding up simulations for novel molecular motors. Major awards there included NSERC and a Steele Memorial Award, which is a major institutional award. Since then, since 2021, I've been a postdoctoral fellow in mathematics and statistics at York University under the supervision of Dr. Jane Heffernan, where I've also been awarded an NSERC postdoctoral fellowship, and very recently became an AI4PH Artificial Intelligence for Public Health Scholar. And through my work with Dr. Heffernan, delivered a number of invited talks at conferences. So my major area of expertise and where I really love to do research is in SARS-CoV-2 vaccine immunology, where we have 5 published papers to date. We predominantly focus on the analysis and modeling of human clinical data, where we work directly with clinicians who are collecting the data and foster a lot of collaborative work directly with the clinicians, so we can focus on projects with them while they are actually developing and collecting their data sets. Predominantly in terms of my first author work, I've been focusing on Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. We develop models and do a lot of statistics on clinical data like serological IgG data, cytokines, and white blood cell data. We ask questions about can we estimate the efficacy, or can we find correlates of efficacy from these vaccines? Can we get a benchmark on waning immunity as a function of number of doses? So dose-dependent predictions. And we've recently completed a project on comorbidity analysis, particularly with HIV-positive individuals who received a number of vaccines of Pfizer and Moderna, and we're comparing their serological immune signatures to an age-matched control. And so I spent a lot of time building models to understand that data, developing novel statistical scripts to leverage power from the data, and doing a lot of reading on immunological processes. The second major area of expertise is in-host disease dynamics, where we have 4 published papers. Predominantly been focusing on SARS-CoV-2, viral load data analysis and modeling. And so for example, we look at immune response from infection. And so we have data signatures from mild, moderate, and severely infected individuals, where severely infected might be an individual who got sick and ended up in the ICU. And we look at their white blood cell counts as a function of time, and we ask questions like, can we discover a signature in this person that distinguishes them from a mild infection, and how early on can we guess whether or not an infection is going to be mild, moderate, or severe. I've recently completed a project on bottleneck dynamics, so that's stochastic bottleneck dynamics, where we're developing mathematical models to predict where the virus is going to evolve next. And so if you'd like to learn more about that, you can ask me. Although I have a background in physics, and from my PhD, publishing in diffusion, I think I've discovered my vocation in clinical studies, and that's where I'd like to stay in the future. So I won't really focus too much on my skills. Besides machine learning, through my artificial intelligence for public health scholarship, we're developing a novel AI platform using lasso and pliable lasso approaches, which are some pretty pliable lasso in particular, cutting edge machine learning technique. And we're attempting to develop a platform that can predict via a very limited data set what the longitudinal signature of someone who has a comorbidity such as HIV, how long their immunity is going to last relative to a control group. And so that's going to be able to, a platform that clinicians can use to understand early on from a vaccine profile when that individual is going to need another dose of a vaccine in order to protect them from the virus, particularly if they're immune compromised, like some individuals with HIV are. And so my career intentions moving forward are to continue doing statistical analysis, or to find a job and continue my vocation and continue doing statistical analysis and modeling very generally in the public health sector and with clinical data. I love working with vaccine data. I think mRNA therapeutics are a beautiful technology that I love to stay in that field. I'm really interested in public health and clinical study design. So for example, informing data collection to optimize data power. If you have one more data point in a data set, you can actually get a lot more power out of that data set depending on where you collect that data point at. And so that's something I'm really interested in working with clinicians on, and I love working with interdisciplinary teams. And so I'm beginning to seek full-time employment as early as next year when my postdoc my last year my postdoc begins to taper out, and I'm excited about opportunities in government, industry, and academia. Thank you very much.
Okay, so hello everyone. So my name is Nabil Nassar. I'm a Lebanese medical graduate. I hold 2 master's degree in medical physics and neuroimaging. Currently, I'm an MD PhD candidate at McGill University in experimental medicine under the supervision of Dr. Tamblin. So my research program lies at the intersection between drug safety, public health, and data management and psychiatry and digital health innovation. So we aim to revolutionize data management in healthcare, particularly in the critical realm of drug safety and public health. My professional experience includes time as a research assistant at the McGill Clinical and Health Informatics Group. I'm also an associate executive at McGill Journal of Medicine, and I worked also as a postdoc research fellow at the American University of Beirut. So in terms of publication, I've contributed to the field through several publications in the field of neurosurgery, functional neurosurgery. We conducted a 10-year cohort study on gliomas and functional recovery. Also, I contributed to a study in the field of medical physics and radiation imaging. Also, I'm currently conducting a study in the field of psychiatry to addressing anxiety features among medical students at McGill. So here also I'm contributing to current a platform, digital app to enhance medication prescription. So it's a paradigm shifting approach to healthcare transformation. So SAMS, it's an abbreviation for smarts about medications. So in this app, our vision extends beyond Canada, as we aspire to see SAM collaborate with global healthcare, because now it's fairly in Quebec area. So SAM will soon be accessible on leading also different app stores. My my future visions encompasses a deep passion for AI, public health, substance misuse, and mental health research. And my goal is to elevate medical science and in turn improve patient care. I aspire to contribute to academia, research institutions, healthcare organizations, while imagining a brighter and more advanced medical world in the background. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Yogita and I'm currently a postdoc researcher in Department of Mathematics at University of Victoria. And my academic background lies in applied mathematics and public health. And I received my PhD degree in 2017 in applied mathematics from Indian Institute of Technology, Rupnagar. And after that, the same year, I received DARD Research Fellowship to conduct research on early warning signals of catastrophic shifts in bistable biological system. And in then 2018, I started my first postdoc position in School of Public Health, where I spent 4 years to understand the vector-borne diseases, and I worked on mathematical modeling of vector-borne diseases there. And recently I moved to Canada and I joined postdoc position in Department of Mathematics at University of Victoria. And here I'm currently working on early warning signals of infectious diseases. So my area of expertise divided into 3 sections. The first section is early warning signals. So I am specialized in time series forecasting. I did my PhD in time series forecasting, where I tried to extract information from hidden patterns in the time series. And I also utilize machine learning models in my PhD. I also experience in regression models. And then the second area is parameter estimation. I have utilized parameter estimation techniques in my first postdoc. For that, I used very advanced techniques. The one technique is maximum likelihood estimation, where I estimate the demographic parameter of the mosquitoes. And second technique, I used the MCMC, which is Markov chain Monte Carlo method. And I also have experience in least square estimation. And third is mathematical modeling. I developed deterministic as well as stochastic models during my PhD. And I also have experience in bifurcation analysis and stability analysis to study the dynamics of the equilibrium points of the biological systems. And here on the right hand side, I have mentioned few key skills. I'm proficient in MATLAB, R, and Python, and I utilize this programming language for data analysis and prediction and mathematical modeling. And also, I have 7-year experience of scientific writing. I published several articles in top-tier journals, and also I'm very well versed in big data handling. And also the other two, I'm working in a very large team. So we are masters, PhDs, and professors from various Canadian universities. And also I manage multiple projects many times. So now coming to my project. So project 1 is the risk evaluation and early detection of emerging infectious disease outbreak in Canada. So recently I'm working on this problem, and here I'm particularly focused on Lyme disease. And for this problem, I am utilizing various diverse data sources, for example, satellite data, land cover data, and ecological data. And I'm trying to predict the suitable habitat of the tick vector that is responsible for the Lyme disease. And for that, I already developed a method using MaxEnt, which is maximum entropy algorithm. And second project is with my previous supervisor from UC Berkeley, where we are working on the genomic methods for understanding the mosquito migration patterns and population dynamics for enhanced genetic control strategies. And we already developed our framework, closed skin mark recapture, and it recently published in PLOS Computational Biology. And this project gave my professor 1.8 million funding. And we are expanding this project to further understand the other demographic patterns which are impossible with the traditional techniques. And the last project is my PhD work, where I developed the early warning signal framework for a catastrophic shift in various bistable biological systems. And I published 5 research articles from this project. And my PhD work is also highlighted in Nature News Story for highly relevant in the field of early warning system. And here on the right hand side, here some of my achievements. I received Innovative Genomic Fellowship from UC Berkeley for 4 years. And also I received for my PhD research article F1000 Prime Recommendation. And also I received Fields Institute MfPH Fellowship, DART Fellowship, Director Fellowship from IIT India, then Graduate Research Fellowship, State Merit Scholarship. And I also published several articles such as in Nature Scientific Reports, Ecos, plus Physical Review E, Theoretical Ecology. And now coming to my career interest, I'm open to diverse sectors. I'm looking for the position in the field of public health, mathematical modeling, or biomedical domain or data science. And here I mentioned my area of interest: data science, biostatistics, predictive modeling, artificial intelligence, climate change, mathematical modeling. And thank you for your time.
It's an honor to be here to introduce myself.
and my work. I'm Marjan Rajabi. I hold PhD in statistics from Research and Science Azad University in Iran. And my expertise in data analysis or data science and statistical research or statistical methods. During my work in quality control, I'm expert in statistical modeling, outlier detection, bootstrap methods, parametric and non-parametric bootstrap, and I'm expert in multiple testing, such as CDOT, whole, and stepwise. And in data science expertise, I'm expert in classification algorithms such as LDA, linear discriminant analysis, and logistic regression, and so on. And data mining, I'm expert in segmentation clustering, RC, RFM, recency frequency monitoring. My background academic is in statistics, bachelor and master and PhD. As my research expertise in measurement error, parametric and non-parametric measurement error, and in the 5th of statistics conference in Yazd in Iran, and multiple testing that published in journal Statistical Sciences, and profile monitoring that published in Quality and Reliability Engineering about phase 1 monitoring, profile monitoring with non-parametric mixed effect model. And also I've conducted a research on data mining RFM methods by R and Python. And I've worked in industrial experience, and these about data science for decision making and finding patterns and multivariate data and construction and industrial companies, statistical analysis and machine learning models, design data-driven and identify outliers. And I've also taught biostatistics and applied statistics and probability theory at Qazvin Azad University in Iran. About my time as a visiting researcher at the University of Waterloo, I've conducted extensive research about comparing multiple testing and about industrial data analysis. My interest is in several areas, including machine learning algorithms, improve ML models, predictive modeling, data analysis, and also I keen interest in RNA-seq analysis in R. And also I'm expert, a keen interest to work in outlier detection and profiling monitoring. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Mantine. I'm a PhD student in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics at the University of Victoria. My supervisor is Judy Marr, and my research area is infectious disease modeling and control. My That's wrong. My skill. Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Manting. Honored to be here. I'm a PhD student in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics at the University of Victoria. My supervisor is Jeannie Marr, and my research area is modeling infectious disease in dynamics and control. My skills include mathematical modeling of infectious disease, like complement model, network model, and agent-based model. Then through mathematical analysis and numerical simulation, we can gain understanding of the spread of the disease. So I can use mathematical tools to analyze the dynamics of the disease and to calculate the basic reproduction number. Then for the numerical simulation, I can use MATLAB or R to analyze the dynamics of the disease. Then I can fit the model outcomes to data to estimate parameters. Generally, I will use MCMC method or maximum likelihood estimation. Then for my work or research experience, from 2017 to 2020, I was a master's student in Donghua University in Shanghai. And my research is about the influence of awareness on epidemic spreading on random networks. And in the meantime, I have a part-time job. I was a middle school math teacher. Then from 2020 to present, I'm a PhD student at the University of Victoria. My research is about modeling contact tracing in randomly mixed population and to study the effectiveness of contact tracing. So we have developed a novel modeling framework for contact tracing. Then we extended our model and to estimate the effectiveness of contact tracing for the COVID-19 pandemic in Ontario. And we try to determine the data needed for estimating the effectiveness of contact tracing. Then when I was a master's student, we developed a model for disease awareness and the behavior change on random networks. So for my future plan, the career plan is to be a researcher in epidemics or government agencies or industries. And for the research plan, I'm interested in the infectious disease models, like multi-wave dynamics, and try to optimal control strategies. And we can study some specific disease like COVID-19 or influenza. Then I'm also interested in agent-based models and random networks. That's all. Thank you.
Hi all, I am John Pilarte Bilbao and I am a research master student at the University of Sherbrooke. I am originally from Spain and my main two expertise areas are quantum computing and AI and machine learning. So I did my last 2 semesters as an exchange student at Sherbrooke, and for my thesis, my bachelor thesis, I created a project divided into 2 main chapters. The first one was about image recognition using topological data analysis, so making use of topology, this branch of mathematics. We collaborated with a company based in Montreal called Optina Diagnostic. Optina Diagnostic business proposal is to replace current Alzheimer early detection, and instead of using an MRI test, a magnetic resonance image, to use eye images and create an image classifier that can predict if the patient is gonna develop Alzheimer or not in the near future. So as the number of images and the quantity of pixels was too big for a common deep learning project, we applied a topological data analysis, and we enhanced the results from a 65% accuracy up to a 80% accuracy, which is being currently patented. On the other side, the second chapter of my bachelor thesis was around quantum computing. I was introduced to the Institut Quantique in the University of Sherbrooke, and I was working in quantum machine learning. So together with IBM Quantum, I created a binary image classifier for the MNIST database, which is able to recognize images between zeros and ones. And this is a full quantum approach that uses quantum neural networks. As we can see in this image here, this is the IBM Qiskit library where you can develop different quantum circuits. And here we can see a full working IBM quantum computer. So we develop a 74% accuracy binary classifier. And to finish with, my future career prospects will be to continue developing in these technology fields. And I am also looking for research collaborations for my research masters. As I have already a lot of international work experience to bring to the table, I am also open for business opportunities. And to conclude, I would also like to do any kind of internships or any kind of collaborations that could suit the company. And that's all, and I hope you find it interesting, and I will be open to discuss any of the projects.
So our next speaker is going to be from Netramark, Joe Gerathi, but we do have a few minutes, so I guess if you guys want to like a bathroom break or just get some refreshments, we'll be back in 7 minutes. 5 minutes or so, let's just say 5 minutes. Turn it on for now, so that.
Just make sure what I'm saying. Be careful.
Exactly.
And, well, let's test it.